Hi, Zoe. Can you say hello? You want to say hello to everybody? Why are you throwing that down for? You don't want to. She doesn't want to say hi today. Hello, folks. I'm the Atari 7800 Junkie, back with you once again with a pickups and announcement video. And before I get to the pickups, I'll get to the announcement, and I'll sit down, and maybe this camera will be a little bit better. I guess I'm kind of holding it here anyway, so sorry if the camera's not the best. I really need to get a tripod. I'm going to have to get a tripod before this upcoming Tuesday because I'm bringing back, one I'm really bringing back. One I'm starting up again, but I never really had a run with the first one. So I'm bringing back my crappy video game reviews, my CVGRs. I'm going to be doing them every Tuesday night. And I'm going to start with a game I recently picked up called Test Drive Unlimited on the Xbox 360. And I promise I'll do a lot of retro games on there as well, but that's just one that I feel like I got to do because I love that game. And then on Thursdays, I'm going to bring back my Gaming Penthouse show, which used to be known as Gaming Penthouse Sundays, but it's going to be on Thursdays now, and I still wanted it to be called GPS, so it's going to be the Gaming Penthouse show. Yeah, you know, and basically on that one, I'm going to do everything else I used to do on it. You know, I'm going to do pickups. I'm going to do any announcements, any contests, any gameplay videos that's not a review. You know, to show something off, I'll do it on that as well. Any collection videos, and at least for this first show next Thursday, I'll do a game room tour, which. Yeah, I've had game room tours on my channel before, and really it's not all that different, but I'll do one all the same, you know, just in case there's anybody new who hasn't gone back and watched it. I don't know. I've had at least a few new subscribers, you know. Hello to all, like, 6 or 7 of you. Anyways, so basically, yeah, I'm going to have a regular schedule, reviews on Tuesdays, my pickups and everything else on Thursdays. You know, I'm just going to have titles for them, crappy video game reviews, and the Gaming Penthouse show because my game room is upstairs, so I'm going in a penthouse. Anyways, you guys probably came here more for the game pickups, so I'm going to show you the game pickups right now. And as for the norm, I'm going to go from newest to oldest. So I'm going to start with one that I downloaded on my Xbox 360. Now, I downloaded it a while back, but I just haven't shown it. But I will show it right now, and it is not Hexic because that's been on there, but the Pinball Arcade. Now, that's made by the same people who did the Pinball Hall of Fame games on the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 that I already previously owned. So that's, you know, the main reason why I got that, because I love those pinball games, and I like this too. And basically, they just emulate some of the most famous pinball tables from various companies. And for the Pinball Arcade, they added, you know, they have Williams and Gottlieb again, but they also added Bally, so basically Bally Midway, and Stern tables are on there as well, which is huge. And here's hoping that this can lead to a Pinball Hall of Fame Bally collection and a Pinball Hall of Fame Stern collection. Would love to see both of them in actual disc form. But in the meantime, I got the Pinball Arcade, and I do love playing it. Now, the rest of my games are actually upstairs in the penthouse, and since we haven't invented a way to look through the ceiling yet, I'll stop the video right here. I'll start up again upstairs, and I'll show you everything else that I picked up within the last week or so. So, Zoe, and she'll be asleep by that point. You want to say bye to everyone? Nah, she still doesn't want to say anything. Alright, as I said, now we are up in the Gaming Penthouse, and this is, I guess, part 2 of my pickups, although it's going to be the same video once I get done editing it together. Which will be a very simple edit. I'm not very good at editing, but at least I can smash 2 videos together. Anyways, basically, here's the pickups. So, today, as I was going about, and I had to pull my money off my debit card, had to pay a couple bills, stopped at a thrift store. It's called the All Good Things Thrift Store. I don't know if they're affiliated with a charity or if it's a private one. It seems like it's a private store, and a lot of stuff there is more retail price. It's not really a thrift store, I don't think. They just call themselves a thrift store. But I did find one good thing there, and it's something I've been looking for a while, and it is this God of War for the PlayStation 2. What's odd about this is it's the black label on the outside, but the disc is the red label, the Greatest Hits disc. So somehow, the disc came out of a Greatest Hits deal and came into a regular case, unless this is a reprinted label, which, no, it looks like it's an original label. Either way, though, I've had God of War 2 for a while, but I've refused to play it until I got and played through God of War 1. So now I can play through both and see how they are. Now, I got a couple others today, but before I get to that, there's a person that I work with. Her name is Corey, and she's basically getting rid of a lot of her games that she's not playing. Now, there's a lot of games that she does play. She is a gamer, but her and her family have kind of migrated to newer stuff. They're going to keep some older stuff around as well. But she gave me 3 Game Boy Advance games and 1 Game Boy Color game for free, and there may be more to come. And definitely, if there's any more in the next week, I'll include it next week in the first episode of the new version of the Gaming Penthouse show. But I'm going to show you the 4 games she gave me, and they're all awesome games. All 4 were actually on my list of games to get at some point. So the first one is Gunstar Heroes for the Game Boy Advance. And I have the first Gunstar Heroes on the Genesis, and I love that one. I love this one as well. Definitely an awesome, awesome game. The next one is Konami Classics, or Konami Collector's Series Arcade Advanced. And that's got a bunch of old arcade games from Konami, including, of course, their most well-known early 80s arcade game, Frogger. I think the gem of this cart, though, other than Frogger, of course, which is always fun, is Scramble, which back in the old days was only available on a home console on the Vectrex. It was in the arcade and then it was on the Vectrex. And it was never on a home console again. Now, these days you can get it on Xbox Live Arcade. I don't know if you can get it on the PlayStation 3, but I think it's a part of the Game Room, actually. And I think you can get it standalone as well. But of course it's also on that, and that makes it infinitely awesome. Because Scramble is a game I've been wanting to play for a while, and I do love playing it. The next one here, it's a collection of 3 RPG games, and I'm going to have to really try to get into these, and it's the Phantasy Star Collection. And what's included on this is Phantasy Star 1 from the Sega Master System, and then Phantasy Star 2 and 3 from the Sega Genesis, which are, it's 3 of the greatest RPGs to ever grace any Sega consoles. I wish they could have had Phantasy Star 4 on here as well, but they probably just ran out of room. So, what are you going to do? They got 1, 2, 3 on there, and that's awesome. So, now I guess I'm just going to have to find 4 on the Genesis, which will be expensive, most likely. The last one here is a remake of an NES game, and it is Shadowgate Classic. And Shadowgate, is a classic NES game, so using the word classic in this is actually a moniker it deserves. So, I mean, it is, there are some minor graphical changes between the NES version and this to make it look better on a small handheld screen, but otherwise it is the same game that was on the NES. So, Shadowgate Classic. And I had the NES game on my wish list. Somehow I didn't have this on my wish list, but I'm glad I got it, because, I wanted the NES game anyways, and that's really the same thing. Okay, back to what I found today. Actually, no, I didn't find this today. I found this yesterday. As I was on my way to work, I stopped at another thrift store, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's in the same building as a storage locker, and basically The two things that fill it is they get a lot of dollar store stuff, but then all the actual thrift store stuff, or the knickknacks and whatnot, they get when people don't pay their fees for their storage lockers. So it's it's a thrift store that they don't take any donations. They are definitely a private thrift store. They are not affiliated with a charitable organization. But for $1.50, I could not pass this up. And this is the Atari Anthology, Atari Anniversary Edition Redux. R-E-D-U-X. Is that how you pronounce that? Redux? I don't know. But it was $1.50. I couldn't pass it up, and I do have the Atari Anthology on the Xbox already, which has more games, a lot more games than what's on this. But the reason I wanted this, and the reason I have been wanting it, is there are a lot of interviews from Nolan Bushnell on this. Now, it is on a CD, so the quality's not the best, but I think if I can ever get my EasyCap to work again, I'm going to put those interviews online. Although, I'd bet dollars to donuts somebody already has. But I'd want to do it anyways, because it's definitely interesting to see what Nolan says on this. So, pretty cool disc there. And again, it was just the disc only. I put it in one of these thin CD cases. They actually had it in a sandwich bag. Huh? I don't get that. But anyways, $1.50, couldn't pass it up. And then these last two games I got from my local Goodwill, which is actually right across the street from where I work. And I go in there regularly, that if I could talk, to see any new games they get in, or whatnot. I also like to look for t-shirts. That's how I get t-shirts like this. Happy Trees, Bob Ross. Yeah, he's the man. Anyways, so two games here I had to pick up were 99 cents a piece. And I guess they only priced them at 99 cents because they're on Game Boy? I don't know. It's weird how they price their old games. Some of them they price $5, and on the same system they'll price 99 cents. I don't get it. And there's really no rhyme or reason. Like, they'll price a sports game $5, but then they'll price these two at 99 cents. And the first one here is WWF Raw. Now, I know, I really want, if I get any version, I'd want the Genesis or Super Nintendo version. And this one has the dreaded LJN logo, of course. But, it's Raw, and I like wrestling, so of course I picked that up. And the other one here was a launch title for the Game Boy. Now, I have the other two launch titles. I believe there were only 3. And I've had Tetris for a while, because Molly had Tetris, and I got it from her. I've had Super Mario Land for about, I don't know, 6 weeks now? No, 7 weeks, almost 2 months now. But I've got the other launch title, and it's Alleyway. And it's pretty much a Breakout or Arkanoid clone. So that's not bad. And some of the shapes you have to break through, like one of them is a Mario head shape, so that's not bad. There was, and actually mentioning Super Mario Land, there was a 5th game with those games I got for free from Corey, and it was Super Mario Land, a second copy of it, which is like, I finally buy one for $7.50, and I get one for free. But there was actually someone else at work that I know does a lot of video game stuff. He's looking for the game loaded for me. He thinks he has it in his collection for the PlayStation. Whether he does or whether he finds it or not, whatever. But basically the same day I got it, I let her know that I had it. But if I knew somebody that wanted it, she said fine, yeah, why not? So I gave it to another person I work with for free. I got it for free, so I wasn't going to charge for it. Anyway, so I'll get the camera real quick and show the pickups one last time. God of War, those 4 Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games was free. God of War was $5, by the way. $1.50 for that, 99 cents for each of those. And the reason I'm grabbing the camera is there's one other pickup to show. And that is this. And I've actually had it in my car since June. But it's one of those things that hang up from the rafters at your local super center. I have to stand. I'm literally standing probably about 10 feet away from this thing just to get it mostly in the picture. But I guess I'll come up to it and pan over so you can see the artwork. But this is gonna look awesome if I can find a place to hang it up. Where the heck am I gonna hang it up? I'm probably gonna have to take down the mat, or at least move the mat down somewhere. Actually, I think I can take that map and put it here, and then be able to put Max Payne on the wall there. So that was awesome, and that was free. That was completely free. So, and that's the best thing about working where I'm working, in the electronics department of where I'm working, which I know I've mentioned before, but I'm not going to mention it now, is that sometimes I can get free things like that. Another one was that Mario Party 9 poster, and another thing was that PSP plastic thing. That was free. That was free. That was free. And they're all from where I work. That was free. So, definitely a cool thing of where I work. Anyways, yeah, I think overall this video is over 20 minutes long, and I apologize for that. Or if it's not over, it's close to it. But I am the Atari 7800 Junkie. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, folks, take care.